Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone, and very good afternoon. So we will start the class with the Ummul Kitab Al-Fatiha. Okay. Uh, so we will continue our lessons on the next chapter, which is chapter 5, in the momentums and collisions. So I think we only have 1 hour for this week's, okay, because of we will have a public holiday on Thursday, so we'll make use of this 1 hour to discuss thoroughly in terms of the topics of energy, momentums and collisions. Okay, so dalam tajuk dia momentum dan pelanggaran, collision. So we'll see how it goes, because you already learned, as I said to you, you always have uh, um, learned these things during your school days, maybe secara dalam atau tak, tapi awak telah belajar benda ni kan. So topik ini kita akan tengok lebih detail lagi apa itu momentum and collisions, and let me share the slides with you. Semua boleh dengar suara saya?
Boleh, boleh.
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 Okay. Alright, so this is topics of momentum and collisions. Nampak ke? Nampak.
Not yet.
Sekejap. Not yet. Moment. Okay, good. So, right. So let's look and let's discuss the topics of momentum collisions. If you do have a questions, then please ask me. Okay, please ask me. Maybe kalau tak sempat, you can ask me in the chat box. Okay, so this is topic of momentum and collisions. So let's look. Okay, so in this topic, we will learn some things that related to momentum and impulse. So apa kaitan antara momentum dan impulse? Okay, a conservation of momentum. Okay, persamaan dalam momentum. And of course, kalau kita tengok 6.3 dan 6.4 is the collisions and the glancing collisions. So the 6.3 and 6.4 should be the applications of momentums and impulse, of course. Okay. So let's go next. So imagine if you are sitting at rest on a skateboard that can roll without a friction. So this is 3 thoughts. Okay, maybe the point of view that you can actually feel that there is a momentum. There is some things that related to momentum in this case. If you're catching a heavy, slow-moving ball that tossed to you by your friends, ataupun maybe you throw it back to your friends. Okay, so that is always related to, if you can imagine the situation, it always related to move. Okay, motions. So motions always related to velocity or speed. Okay, so bila ada mass, bila ada speed, okay, so there must be something else. Okay, so this is the definitions of the linear momentum. Okay, P, right? P is equivalent to mv. Okay, m mass and v is the velocity. Okay, and as you can see, P here got unit vector. Okay, nampak ada arrow di atas P tu, membawa maksud apa? Dia ialah vector quantity. Kenapa dia boleh jadi vector? Okay, definitely disebabkan oleh velocity. Velocity yang maksudnya V yang ada arrow atas kepala dia tu. So that is the vector quantity. So vector times dengan mass dia dapat vector juga. So sebab itulah P ini kita dikatakan momentum is a vector quantity. The SI unit for the back vector is a straightforward M is kg, while V is the ms negative 1. Okay, and of course momentum has the direction, and the direction should follow the motions, or the direction should follow the directions of velocities. Okay, so let's look at these examples. Okay, quite early. Okay, very good examples. Okay, determining how good are the bumpers. Okay, how good are the bumpers. Okay, let's try to dive into these problems or the examples that should be in your textbook. In the crash test, a car of mass 150 kilogram, 1,500 kilogram. Okay, 1,500 kilogram. It collides with a wall. Okay, berlaku pelanggaran with a wall and rebounds as in figures, right? The initial and the final velocity. So benda-benda ni semua kena ingat. The initial and the final velocities of the car are VI equivalent to negative 15 meter per second and VF equals to 2.6 meter per second. Okay, respectively. If the collisions last for 0.15 seconds, find A, the impulse delivered to the car due to the collisions, and B, the size and directions of the average force exerted on the car. Okay, hold on. Sebelum kita masuk kepada impulse, okay, soalan pertama dia tanya pasal impulse, sedangkan tadi saya baru discuss pasal momentum sahaja. Okay, kita tak pergi pun pasal impulse lagi. Okay, we don't know yet about impulse. Okay, so let's keep in mind first these examples. So let's look at the next slide. Okay, kita tengok slide yang berikutnya. Alright. Okay, so the Newton second law. Okay, apa kaitan Newton second law dengan momentum? Okay, so basically in the Newton second law stating that the submission of force is equivalent to a product of mass and acceleration. Okay, product of mass and accelerations. So we can easily say apa yang berlaku di sini ialah, ingat this is the acceleration. So okay, can you write the equations of the accelerations? So the acceleration should be A equivalent to, right, V minus V naught divided by T. Okay, V minus V naught divided by T. And if you can imagine, okay, try to take this value and you put this here. So that will give you, okay, something that related to impulse. So ni baru impulse kan. Okay, macam mana tadi kita buat? So F equivalent to MA. Okay, excuse for my writing saya pakai mouse sebab tu tak cantik kan. Tapi tak apa, asalkan awak faham M dalam kurungan apa? V minus dengan V naught over T. Kalau dulu awak pakai V V tolak U kan. Okay, so right now your T, you try to bring this T to this side, so it become FT. Okay, FT equivalent to M dalam kurungan V tolak V naught. Okay, FT equivalent to M times V minus V naught, and of course is equivalent to M delta V, because the V minus V naught is considered as delta V. Okay, so that is equivalent to FT. So what does it mean by FT? So the product of force times with time is equivalent to impulse. That is the definitions of impulse. So straight away, when the force is a vector quantity, impulse is also a vector quantity. And it have a directions, the same direction as the average force, because it follows, nampak ya? Impulse di sebelah kiri, di sebelah kanan ada force. Okay, time definitely bukan vector quantity. So disebabkan itu, kita boleh katakan that the directions of impulse the same as the directions of average force. Kenapa dia mainkan faktor average dekat situ? Okay, saya nak emphasizekan. Jangan terlalu, orang kata apa, takutlah nampak perkataan average. Dia sebenarnya force sebenarnya. Tapi force disebabkan oleh, okay, dua velocity yang berbeza. Dia kena faham ada dua velocity yang berbeza di sini. Velocity pertama dan yang kedua. You have a final velocity and initial velocity. That means you have two velocities. So when you have two velocities, that means you will have an average of force. Because m times a comes from two values of velocities. So therefore, we can say that they have an average force. So that is equivalent to impulse. So again, can we describe what is impulse? Impulse is Ft, F times T. Okay, the unit for impulse is also the same as the unit of the momentum, which is kgms negative 1 or kgm over s. Okay, and is equivalent to m delta v. So meaning that impulse is what? Impulse is the change in momentum. So this is what we call as change in momentum. Okay. Change in momentum. Sebab itulah M kali dengan delta V bersamaan dengan sebab kita tahu P bersamaan dengan MV. Okay, P momentum bersamaan dengan MV. Tapi kalau P bersamaan dengan M delta V, maksudnya kita ada banyak-banyak velocity. So banyak-banyak velocity itu sebenarnya ialah change in momentum. So change in momentum is equivalent to impulse. And how about impulse? So impulse kita nak dapatkan ni, kita ada dua cara lah. Satu kita ada F times T, yang lagi satu kita boleh gunakan M equal times delta V. Okay, so the impulse is also a vector quantity. Okay, so SI unit for impulse is kgms negative 1 or Newton second. So kalau nak ingat pun boleh lah, sebab ini force dia ialah Newton, T ialah second, so Newton second. Ataupun kita boleh ambil yang change in momentum ni kg untuk m, okay, untuk v kita masih lagi guna sama ms, m per s of ms negative 1. Okay, and then let's go back to our previous problem. Okay, about how good are the bumpers. There is something here. Okay. Okay, in the initial and the final velocity. So kita dah nampak jelas dalam tu dia bagi tahu initial and final velocities. Okay, initial meaning that V0, okay, equivalent to negative 15 m per s. Okay, and final velocity V ialah 2.6 meter per second. Okay, respectively. And if you can observe here that V0 contain negative. Okay, ada negative, while V in final velocity doesn't have any sign, positive ke negative ke, so we consider as positive. So ini yang saya nak masukkan dengan perubahan. Okay, if you can notice in the figures, okay, before collisions, okay, before the car actually collide ataupun berlanggar dengan dinding wall, okay, the velocity of the car is 15 meter per second. Velocity is 15 meter per second in the directions to the left. Okay, directions dia ke arah kiri. Okay, berapa dia punya laju? 15 meter per second. Okay, selepas pelanggaran dia rebounds, maksudnya dia berlanggar dan dia terpaksa undur langgar dan apa rebound lah maksud dia terpaksa patah balik kan, dia langgar dan dia terpelanting balik ke kanan sebanyak 2.6 meter per second. So it is very, very important for us to understand that sometimes in the questions dia tak letak ni negatif ni. Saya nak maklumkan negatif dalam soalan kebiasaannya tidak diletakkan value. Biasanya dia akan guna 15 meter per second to the, okay, kadang-kadang dia tak mention pun, dia biar je macam tu. 15 meter per second before hitting the wall, and after hitting the wall, okay, it will rebound 2.6 meter per second. Itu je dia cakap. So that's why dalam tajuk ini kadang-kadang student selalu buat mistake macam mana, dia boleh jawab because it really easy to use the equations and put all the values. Senang je, tetapi nak memahamkan situation sebenar di mana momentum itu, saya nak jelaskan lebih sekali, is a vector quantity. So when a vector quantity, dia gerak ke kiri atau ke kanan, it's very meaningful. Okay, so benda tu kena faham. Bila dia gerak ke kiri, maksud dia velocity ke kiri, dia mesti kena ada negatif. So itu yang membawa maksud dia pergerakan ke kiri tak sama dengan pergerakan ke kanan. Mesti ada perbezaan. So either one you must put positive and negative. So kalau ke kiri tu awak anggap sebagai positif, contoh dia ke kiri you assume that going to the left is positive, so pergi ke kanan you must put negative. Begitulah sebaliknya, kalau awak kira ke kiri tu negatif dan ke kanan mesti jadi positif. So kena tengok So let's look at the penyelesaian dia. The impulse, dalam soalan ini juga, if the collision lasts for 0.15 seconds, okay, itulah kalau kita tengok soalan ni dia tanya pasal bumper. Okay, usually when you buy a car, it comes with the bumpers. Okay, ada tak kereta yang kita beli bumper dia tak ada. Okay, and of course nowadays cars have a properties of the bumpers have become more clear and clear in terms of bumpers yang dibuat nowadays mesti mudah remuk. Kenapa dia buat macam tu? Kita beli kereta nak kuat, tapi kenapa kita nak mudah remuk? Okay, one of the solutions find by our researchers is bila kita boleh memanjangkan pelanggaran. Okay, sekarang kita pergi kepada penyelesaian paling bawah sekali. Tengok paling bawah sekali. Okay, ini kita dapat daripada formula yang tadi tu, which is impulse equals to Ft. Okay, ni impulse ni, yang tapi ni impulse lah, change in momentum kan. Impulse lah, kalau tengok nilai ni sama dengan nilai ni. Okay, same. Tengok, this is the average force. And can you imagine what happen if the T is increase or decrease? Jadi itulah cara kita belajar. So we need to know, okay, if the time becomes, let's say lah, instead of 0.15 seconds, now it becomes 5 seconds. Bayangkan kalau kita daripada 0.15 ni, kita tukar jadi 5 seconds. Agak-agak apa jadi pada value ni? Guys, jadi apa value? Is it decrease or increase? Decrease. Sebab kita besarkan bahagian denominator dia, kita besarkan, and then of course nilai ni akan decrease. So the impact, for the passengers ataupun mereka yang duduk di dalam kereta akan lebih kurang berbanding value sekarang. So that's why kereta sekarang dibina dengan keadaan yang mudah remuk. Sebab tu kalau kita tengok kereta, kalau dalam accident ada kat luar sana pun, memang kebanyakan kereta bahagian bumper depan dia memang akan remuk, pecah dan sebagainya. Biasanya remuk lah. Boleh ni. Sebab apa? Sebab masa akan dipanjangkan. Time will be longer and of course the impact will be lower. Faham ya? So that's how you do it. Now it goes back to our workings in terms of how to determine or how to calculate the impulse due to the collisions. So first, in this case, they are being given a mass. Nampak ada mass and of course ada velocity. So kalau nampak mass and velocity dia, teruslah pakai P. Nampak tak? Mana ada dia cerita pasal F? Kan sebab kita dah cerita impulse, F tak ada, T ada. Tapi F tak ada. So dia akan jadi masalah. Rupanya F akan ditanya dekat soalan B, average force. So definitely kita kena pakai M kali dengan V. So M kali dengan V, tengok M kali dengan V. V ni together dengan dia punya negatif. Why? Because the initial is, ataupun kalau kamu tak nak letak negatif, kamu kena tulis dekat sini going to the right, to the left. Okay, mesti kena tulis going to the left, right? And then bila this one must be going to the right, right? So 1.5 times 2.6 meter per second going to the right. Nampak? Jalan kira sama tetapi yang membezakan dia ialah going to the left and to the right. Kita kena mention benda tu. Okay, sebab itulah nanti because this is momentum. Okay, ingat momentum dengan impulse adalah satu benda yang tak boleh dipisahkan. Okay, sebab momentum ialah impulse. Change in momentum is impulse. Okay, impulse is what? FT. Impulse is also change in momentum. So kena ingat benda tu again and again. Alright, so look at the units used is kg, ms, -1. So that will be impulse. Okay, ada soalan tak so far?
Tak ada.
Okay, good. Kalau ada soalan nanti boleh bagi tahu Okay. So that is considered momentum tadi cerita tadi tu pasal bumper tadi is momentum in axis, in the single axis. Maksud dia awak tengok kereta tu datang daripada arah ke arah kiri dan dia dia rebounce back ke arah kanan. Maksud dia it will rebounce on the same axis. The same axis. Walaupun dia ada negatif positif tak kisah, tapi the same axis which is x and delta and negative x. Okay, tetapi kalau berlaku keadaan di mana apakah berlaku kepada momentum if there is a two dimension. Okay, ada two axis. So what will happen? Okay, so kita akan tengok yang ni kita akan tengok lebih kurang nanti ya. Alright. Okay. So the impulse is equal to the change in momentum. We already did that, right? So the same change in momentum may be produced by a large force acting for a short time or by a smaller force acting for a longer time. Okay, kalau you boleh imagine, dulu-dulu kan kalau awak tengok zaman-zaman orang suka main boxing. Okay, kalau awak tengok orang tumbuk orang ataupun boxing, macam mana cara dia tumbuk? Adakah dia tumbuk tu perlahan dan ditarik balik perlahan? Okay, kalau tengok orang kalau dulu legend Muhammad Ali, macam mana dia tumbuk? Okay, biasanya cara orang main boxing dia tumbuk ialah dengan cara dia tumbuk dengan kelajuan yang sangat laju. Okay, maksudnya dia bukan perlahan, dia tumbuk dengan laju. Kenapa dia tumbuk dengan laju? Sebab kita nak make sure that it will fall in a short time so that it will create a large force. Tadi kita dah buktikan a large force so that the impulse produced or momentum produced will be higher or will be greater compared to longer time. So kenapa? Sebab tu benda ni kita kena faham. Okay, because of the time here. Okay, the impulse, the time. Okay, the time. Alright. So dalam momentum juga kita ada beberapa keadaan So this is the change in velocity. Alright, change in velocity. Kalau nampak dekat sini, there is here comes the ball. This is the batter. Okay, this is the person who plays baseball. Okay, the ball's been thrown to him at the velocities going when the PI, meaning that the momentum, initial momentum, and after hitting, it becomes a final momentum. Okay, so the contact, the time taken here is how the bat and the ball's contact. Okay, itulah T dia. Dekat situlah impulse itu dikira. Kena faham ya? Impulse tu dikira dekat mana? Bila ada force. Bila ada average force. Kat mana berlaku average force? Kalau saya boleh lukis bat tadi, dekat bila bola tu, ni tempat dia. Right? Okay, so tempat pelanggaran inilah yang ada T. So itulah yang dikatakan tempat kita nak tengok. Okay, what happen now? Okay, dekat mana berlaku impulse tu? Ni, tempat dia berlanggar itu. Okay, masa hitting tu mesti ada berlaku pelanggaran. So lagi sikit kita boleh buat dia langgar, lagi kuat dia punya average force. Kena faham? Ini dia cerita pasal force. Kita tak cerita pasal laju atau tidak. Okay. Kita hanya cerita pasal force, the impact to the ball and of course to the bat. Okay. Right. So dalam impulse tak boleh lari dengan applications. Apa applications dalam impulse and momentum? Definitely dia mesti datang dengan, okay, kalau kita tengok, okay, kita pergi dulu kepada conservation momentum since kita nak cerita pasal impulse and the applications of the impulse momentum. Okay, so the net force acting on the object is the rate of change of its momentum, rate of change of the momentum. Okay, macam tadilah, bila kita bawa delta T naik atas, dia akan jadi delta P equals to F kali dengan delta T. Okay, meaning that this is impulse. This is the same goes to I. Sama je. Delta P dengan I ialah sama. P bernilai M kali V. Delta P ialah M kali delta V. Sebab mass sama kan? Okay, so if the net force is 0, the momentum does not change. Okay, so the net force acting on the object is 0. So bila masuk perkataan conservation, apa maksud conservation? Conservation ini again macam kita cerita dalam minggu lepas, masuk conservation itu ialah an initial equal to final. Itu syarat untuk conservation. Okay, apa itu initial, apa itu final? Okay, kita nak tengok Okay, so in order to do that, kita kena faham momentum. Okay, ni dalam tajuk collisions tapi saya akan gunakan page ini untuk cerita collisions. Okay, kenapa collisions? Okay, asal dia ialah dari P initial equals to P final. Okay, apa tu P initial, apa tu P final? So maksud dia MV initial equivalent to MV final. Ini ialah conservation of linear momentum. Okay, conservation of the momentum meaning that initial equals to final, right? So momentum initial equals to final. So initial equals to final, tetapi kalau melibatkan beberapa bodies yang lain, maksud dia if you do have two bodies like this, ini contoh dia. Right, so cuba tengok dalam page ini. Kalau kamu tengok before and after collisions, right? So in collisions itself, okay, divided into two. Yang pertama kita panggil dia sebagai elastic collisions, dan yang kedua kita panggil sebagai inelastic collisions. Apa beza dia? Okay, elastic, kalau tengok perkataan elastic, apa yang faham perkataan elastic? Elastik macam apa? Who knows about elastic?
Anjal macam spring.
Anjal kan? Elastik tu maksud dia material yang always wants to return to its original conditions. Macam getah. Getah kita tarik, dia nak balik semula jadi kecil. Kita tarik, nak balik semula jadi kecil. So bila kita tengok dalam keadaan itu, that is what we call as elastic collision. Elastic collision is the when two bodies atau collide with each other and it fall apart after the collision. Maksudnya dia akan terlerai selepas collision. Tetapi untuk inelastic collisions, dia berbeza. Right. Macam saya cakap tadi, P initial untuk sesuatu collisions of course kalau kita tengok collisions mesti melibatkan objek dengan objek lah. Okay, mesti melibatkan collision mesti melibatkan objek dengan objek. Collisions ini jangan ingat pelanggaran sahaja. Okay, dia sangat luas pengertian dia sebab dalam collisions kita boleh katakan okay, satu collisions antara objek A dengan objek B langgar, tu collisions. Okay, kalau dalam kategori archer ataupun kategori memanah ataupun gun, okay, kalau kita tengok macam mana objek mula-mula duduk dalam satu keadaan yang bersama, okay, lepas tu dia selepas berlaku momentum ataupun pelanggaran, so dia pecah kepada keadaan lain. So itu pun adalah collision juga. Right, so banyak benda yang kita boleh calculate dengan, banyak benda yang kita boleh discuss pasal collisions ni, and of course hari ni kita nak concentrate dulu kepada a completely inelastic collision. So before collisions, okay, this is object 1 and object 2. Okay, meaning that this is M1 and this is M2. Okay, so M1 have an initial velocity 1. Okay, and maybe M2 have an initial velocity 2. Okay, right? So before collision like this. After the collisions, so for the inelastic collision, this is the fundamental of it. Ini cerita dia. Inelastic ni, ini dia punya properties dia ialah it will move together after the collisions. Okay, when object 1 and object 2 collide, okay, berlanggar, and after the collisions, M1 and M2 stick together, and it will only have one final velocity. Nampak Dia datang dengan dua velocity yang berbeza, V1 dengan V2, tetapi at the end of the collisions, now it will only have a single velocity. So that's what we call the final velocity. Maksud dia, it will move with only one velocity. So final velocity. So itu dikatakan inelastic collisions. Okay. So this is the inelastic collisions. And when we talk about collisions, okay, kita bukan cerita pasal conservation of momentum sahaja. Okay, kita juga bercerita mengenai ini. Apa ni maksudnya? This is kinetic energy. Okay, for those who can't remember, the kinetic energy is half mv square. Okay, mass times velocity square. Mass times speed square. Sama je half mv square. So, kinetic energy equals to half mv square, di mana for the inelastic collisions, momentum is conserved. Maknanya Pi equals to Pf. Okay, tak ada masalah. Tetapi, kinetic energy is not conserved. Maksud dia, kinetic energy initial and is not equal to kinetic energy final. Maksud dia, bila awak kira kinetic energy, okay, kita pergi next. On this side, okay, plus with this side. Okay, ni before ni maksud dia KE before. Okay, dan ini ialah kedua-dua sekali untuk kinetic energy final. Okay, so the kinetic energy final and initial is not equivalent. Itu salah satu benda yang kena tahu instead of velocity, instead of benda ni yang atas ni, kan? M1 U1 plus M2 U2 equivalent to M1 V1 plus M2 V2 dulu kan, masa zaman sekolah dulu. So yang ni kita dah faham, tetapi ada satu lagi yang kita kena tahu, which is the kinetic energy. Okay, the kinetic energy is not equivalent for the inelastic collisions. Okay, so mana dia pergi? Dia hilang. Kat mana dia hilang? Kita tengok betul-betul. During the collision, some of the initial kinetic energy is converted to the other form. Some propagates away as sound. Bila berlaku pelanggaran ada bunyi, some is converted to heat. Okay, panas kan, jadi panas pun, heat pun terbuang, jadi energy pun terbuang, and some creates a permanent deformations in the metals. Okay, bila lekuk tu dah tak boleh nak kembali kepada keadaan asal. So that's how it lost its energy. Okay, so kena faham ya, inelastic collisions. Okay, collisions ada dua, inelastic and elastic collisions. So hari ni kita tengok inelastic collisions. Okay, what is inelastic collisions? Right, so inelastic collisions again is, apa dia kata tadi, is pelanggaran tetapi at the end it move together. It sticks together to becomes to only have one final velocity. And Of course, the other property is the kinetic energy before collisions is not equal to the kinetic energy after collisions. Okay, so you can see here in the process of how you can apply the conservations of momentum to one-dimensional inelastic collisions. Okay, a pickup truck with a mass of 1,800 kilogram, okay, is traveling eastbound. Here, eastbound, eastbound is going to the right. And while a compact car with a 900 kilogram is traveling westbound is going to your right. Okay, at 15 meters per second, figure. The vehicle collide head-on, becoming entangled. Okay, maksudnya dia bergabung dan akhirnya dia berlanggar dan dia melekat. Entangle. Find the speed of the entangled vehicles after the collisions. So ini dia nak cari apa tu? V lah. VF lah. Kan? And B, find the change in velocity of each vehicle lah. Change in velocity. So benda-benda tu nampak Kalau tengok yang pertama, nampak? Dia start dengan apa? PI equals to PF. Ini pentingnya. Kalau nak buat ni, kalau boleh buat ni setiap kali jumpa soalan momentum, maksudnya awak faham, boleh mendapat markah tau. Maksud dia, kalau jawapan awak salah pun disebabkan awak tulis benda-benda ni. So this is the physics part. Okay, where we talk about the conservations of linear momentum. So PI equals to PF. Kena ada lah. Kan? So what is dia punya equation dia? MI M1 V1 initial plus M2 V2 initial, nampak tak? Equivalent to M1 plus V2 M1 plus M2 kali dengan VF. So in the end, the final answer is 5 meter per second. Tu betul lah kan? Sebab aku pakai equation senang. Okay, the question B said, find the change in the velocity of each vehicle. Each vehicle. Okay, so this is the final velocity. So for the V1, tolak lah. Kan? V final tolak dengan VI, V final tolak dengan V2I. Nampak kita dapat dua value, negative 10 and 20 meter per second. Okay? So that is change in velocity. Yang ketiga, find the change in the kinetic energy of the system. Okay, kinetic energy of the system. Tengok macam mana dia kira. So this is kinetic energy initial. Tengok dia ambil apa? Half M1 V1 initial square. Okay, V1 maksud dia M1 siapa? M1 ialah pickup truck. V1 ialah 15 tapi square. Okay, tolak dengan tambah dengan half 900 ini car berat mass dia, lepas tu 15 meter per second square. So the answer is 3.04 10 power of 5 joule. Sorry. Okay. So for kinetic energy final, here we are, half M1 plus M2 V final square. So we will get 3.38 10 to the power of 4 joules. Okay, so when we minus KE final minus KE initial, we will get negative 2.7 10 power of 5 joule. Remember, kinetic energy, any kind of energy will have a unit of joule, J. Okay, right. Ada soalan tak? Kalau ada soalan boleh tanya Okay. So let's look at the second examples. Okay, a block mass M1 is equivalent to 1.6 kilogram initially moving to the right. Dia dah bagi tahu moving to the right with a velocity of 4 meter per second on a frictionless horizontal. Jadi faham kena benda-benda tu kena faham lah. Frictionless maksudnya tidak ada pengaruh tidak ada pengaruh frictional force. Kalau ada kena tolak dulu collides with a massless spring. Okay, massless spring maksudnya spring yang tidak diletakkan any mass attached to a second block of mass M2 equivalent to 2.1 kilogram moving to the left with a velocity of negative 2.5. Okay, so now we have a spring, the untouched mass spring. So dia duduk dekat dengan M2. So M2 tu bergerak ke kiri. Okay, while M1 bergerak ke kanan. Okay, the question is, so in here we'll, okay, given to us M2 2.1, M1 initial velocity 4, initial velocity negative 2.5. Okay, and spring has a spring constant. This one is K. Okay, spring constant. Tengok dia punya unit Unit dia ialah Newton per meter. Determine the velocity of block 2 at the instant when block is to move to the right with the velocity of 3 meter per second. Okay, so kita dapat tahulah keadaan dia bila dia kata determine the velocity of block 2 at the instant when block 1 is moving to the right with the velocity of 3 meter per second as in figures. So nampak kita boleh gunakan, ingat again, PI equals to EF. Okay, what is I? I is all the initial part lah, initial apa itu F? Final dengan final. So we want to calculate, determine the velocity of block 2. So we need to calculate V2F. So we get negative 1.74 meter per second. Okay. Kadang-kadang dalam soalan tu panjang tapi ada maklumat-maklumat yang penting lah. Macam ni tu kita boleh guna 3 meter per second ni. Okay. And lastly, find the maximum compressions of the spring. Maximum compressions of the spring meaning you want to find X. Nak cari X tu. Kalau kita tengok dekat situ, E initial, okay, kita pasti pakai E initial equals to E final. Okay, half M1 V1 F V1 I square plus half M2 V2 I square plus 0 plus half. Ni plus 0 ni plus apa ni? Siapa tahu? Plus 0 tu plus apa? Okay, if you notice, this is energy. Okay, energy must come with KE and PE. Potential energy and kinetic energy. So there is no kinetic energy here, but we do have initially, okay, we only have masa dia tak berlanggar lagi, kita hanya ada kinetic energy lah. Okay, sebab dia bergerak. Tetapi bila dia berlanggar saja, dan nampak ada spring dalam ni, so kita kena macam mana nak calculate dia punya spring elongation. So we need to put half kx square, okay, to get k. Sorry, to get x, right? X, k is already given 600, okay, 600 Newton per meter. So dekat situ ada x, kamu boleh dapatkan x. Okay, there's lots of information, so you can try it out. Okay, you can try on your own. Okay, this is another one concept about ballistic pendulum. Okay, ballistic pendulum is the actually the sets of in the experiment maybe sets of things that have been set up to see how can kinetic energy being transferred all to the potential energy. So that's how they did the ballistic pendulum. Kalau tengok dekat sini, kita ada M, ball, kita ada mass wood. Okay, not wood, actually is a catcher. So this ball, it will hit this ada hole dekat sini, ada lubang. So this ball will hit the hole, and of course this ball will make this M going up at a certain level. So this is actually the how can we calculate when you have H, you can calculate MGH. Okay, so that's how it works, right? So you can watch these equations later. Okay, we have one. Okay, maybe we have a few minutes before we start. Everyone wants to ask a question? Ada soalan tak? Ada? Okay, let's sambung sikit ya. For collisions in two dimensions, conservation of momentum is applied separately along each axis. Nah, maksud dia pelanggaran bukan hanya berlaku pada a single dimension or one dimension, but it will occur to the two dimensions. Maksudnya dia akan boleh jadi pxi dengan pyi. Okay, contoh dia dalam keadaan ni. This car, this orange car is coming to your right. Or should I call it as westbound? Okay, coming to your right. And this blue van is going from bottom to top. Okay, and of course at the intersection, it collides with each other. And of course, when you look at this Cartesian coordinate, it contains V. So we need to see what can we do to this velocity, final velocity. Of course, it sticks together, but okay, these collisions now involve x axis, okay, and y axis together, simultaneous. Okay, maksudnya bila berlaku dalam keadaan macam ni, kita nampak tadi tu macam cerita tadi, dia langgar kiri, dia pergi kanan, dia langgar kanan, dia pergi kiri, ataupun dia dua langgar. Tetapi dalam keadaan sekarang, pelanggaran ini menyebabkan dia ada pengaruh y axis. So ada x, ada y. Sebab apa? Sebab vector. It's all about vector. Okay, about intersections. Okay, analyzing a traffic accident. Okay, a car with a mass of 950 kilogram and a speed of 16 meter per second approaches an intersection. Okay, so in car, 150 and speed there 16. A 1,300 kilogram minivan traveling at 21 meter per second is heading for the same intersection. The car and the minivan collide and stick together. Find the speed and the directions of the right vehicle just after the collisions, assuming external force can be ignored. Okay, so kalau tengok ayat last tu, assuming no external force. Okay, so kita tak ada pula tolak dia bergerak sendiri ya. So how to do it? Okay, again, this is M1 V1 equivalent to M1 plus M2 VF cos theta. How can we get MF VF tiba-tiba cos theta? Macam mana dia dapat? Okay, tengok previous balik. So this is the Cartesian coordinate. Let's say you draw a line like this, meaning that this is your vector. Okay, this theta over here is equivalent to this theta, meaning that on this side you will have VF cos theta. So this side VF sin theta. Okay, so M times with this V and this V, so you may know which part should you calculate. So that's why on the next part, M1 V1 is equivalent to M2 plus M1 V2F cos theta, M2 V2 M1 N2 MV2 sin theta, and of course M2 over V2 combined. So sin and cos becomes tangent. VF and VF sin theta and theta. M1 and M2. So dapat sin over cos dapat tangent. So then again, we will proceed to the next questions. Okay, so for the elastic collisions, both kinetic energy and momentum are conserved. Okay, please remember one thing, both kinetic and both momentums are conserved. Okay, meaning that we should write down all values. Okay, when you have M1 and M2, so you can have this, and of course when you have K1 and Ki and Kf, So all of this right up. Okay, meaning that this is the initial part equivalent to final part. Okay, again, initial part, final part. So elastic, as I said to you, after the collisions, it will not move together. It maybe dia langgar macam ni ya, langgar. Dia langgar sepatutnya dia melekat tak, dia tolak je. Ada juga macam tu, ataupun dia langgar, definitely dia tolak. So ada dua. Yang ketiga maybe dalam keadaan sama macam tadi lah kan, maksudnya dia langgar dan dia terputus, langgar ataupun dia semakin dekat, dia makin, maksudnya ada berlaku change in momentum. So itu pun boleh dikira sebagai elastic collisions. Okay, this one don't need to remember these things. Okay, ini tak payah hafal don't need. Okay, sikit lagi saya nak terangkan mengenai glancing collisions. Okay, last kali baru kita tengok pada applications lah. Okay, so this is the two-dimensional collisions can only be solved if some of the final information is shown, such as the final velocity. Okay, pernah tengok tak ini game apa ni? Ini biasanya game kalau nama dia Olympic musim sejuk kan, Winter Olympics, ada game ni nama dia. Saya pun lupa nama dia, nanti saya bagi tahu. Okay, tapi dia ada dalam pemain. Kita tengok next. Alright. Let's look at the collisions at an intersection. Tadilah cerita pasal tadi tu. So a car with a mass 1,500 kg traveling east at the speed of 25 collides at the intersection with 2.5 and power of 3 kg van traveling north. Like this figure. So after the collisions, okay, assuming the vehicle undergo perfectly inelastic collisions. Okay, so that is they stick together and assuming that friction between the vehicle and the road can be neglected. Okay, so kita consider semua sekali lah. Okay, tengok macam mana cara dia buat. Right, so now you must provide the summation of P, momentum, okay, summation of P, okay, submissions of X initial, X final, Y initial, Y final. Nampak satu-satu dia buat Y initial, Y final, Y initial. Okay, this is for car. Okay, initial and finals. Then of course, it will lead you, so dekat sini ada tricky sikit. Okay, as I said to you, how can we get VF cos theta tadilah. Okay, VF cos theta. So because this is VF, and this one become VF cos theta, and this one become VI sin theta. Okay. Alright. Okay, the last topic for this will be rocket propulsion. Okay, just remember one thing about rocket propulsion. Okay, it is a topic of not a quantitative topics, but it is a qualitative topics. So this is a very simple explanations because it's considered a trajectory from a rocket and speed. So never mind, just concentrate on this part. Okay, two fruits in two dimensions, analyzing and elastic collisions. Okay, two astronauts on opposite ends of a spaceship are comparing lunch. One has an apple, the other has an orange. Okay, they decided to trade. Astronaut one tosses the 0.13 kilogram apple towards astronaut tu. So boleh bayangkan keadaan dia, ada seorang astronaut pertama dia baling apple, dan lagi satu astronaut yang kedua dia baling orange. Apa yang berlaku, dia akan ada angle. So angle itu akan diambil kira dalam ini. Kita tengok macam mana penggunaan angle itu. Okay, maybe dalam KI, KF ada ke tak? Tak ada. Tapi bila masuk je, okay, tiba-tiba dia akan ada. Okay. Sebab itulah kita kena faham konsep force terlebih dahulu before kita boleh fahamkan topics, momentums and collisions. Okay, I think kalau ada soalan, maybe I can want to ask anything. Boleh tanya. Do you have a question? Ada soalan tak?
No.
No.
Boleh faham sebab kamu dah belajar. Senang je kan. Okay. So lepas ni boleh try. Yes, Abu? Ada soalan?
No.
Okay, very good. Okay, so just want to highlight these things. This topic is actually you can finish up within a one hour. If you wish to continue these topics, okay, you can watch the videos that I give you in the Google Classroom. Okay, you can watch the videos. You have two videos actually, my video and also my colleagues' videos. So watch all the videos and look at the examples, maybe in the internet or maybe in the textbook. Okay, so let's do some revisions regarding that. Okay, because you will have another quiz on week 10. Okay, remember this is week 6 already, so you may have another 4 weeks to go before you can come to week 10, because we will have another quiz on week 10, right? So remember one thing, and of course, okay, so we don't have any more classes this coming Thursday, and if you wish to continue watching the videos, you can make use the times to watch the videos. Okay, can you what happened in Puncak Alam? Can you go back to your home this coming week?